Hello everyone, welcome to Let's Play Tomb Raider Anniversary. Yes, I'm going to start it. No, my computer is not fixed. Hopefully that will change soon, but not right now. So yeah, I am still waiting on the USB with the Windows installer that my brother is sending me. If that sounds stupid to you and you don't know all of the backstory of what is wrong with my computer, then you can watch the video where I talk about it. But, yeah, again, hopefully that'll all be resolved soon, but I am getting tired of not doing anything in the meantime, and I have wanted to start on this game for a few weeks, so I'm doing it. And just hoping against hope that I don't have any problems with it doing the restarting and crashing while I'm doing this audio. Anyway, I'm gonna let the rest of this cutscene play out so you can see Mirage from The Incredibles and her very strange flowy hair tell us about our next mission.
Of ancient artifacts, and I'm led to believe that with the right incentive, you're just the woman to find them for me.
I'm afraid you've been misled. I only play for sport.
Which is precisely why I've come to you, Miss Croft. This is a game you've played before, with your father. You both spent years searching for the Scion of Atlantis. All you needed was the location of Qualopec's tomb.
You found Vilcabamba.
How quickly can you get to Peru?
Vilcabamba continues to elude us, and my insistence that we press on in spite of these failures has morale low. I suspect Jenkins to be the author of this sedition. He simply refuses to accept the possibility that Atlantis is the foundation upon which all known civilizations were built. Increasingly, I find it is Lara alone who remains untainted by academic dogma and open-minded enough to see this truth.
Bastante cuerda.
Not to worry, I'll find another way up.
So yeah, here you have it. This is the first level of the game. I'm sure pretty much everybody watching this is familiar with Tomb Raider and what general kind of game it is. But if you're not, it is... I would call it an action-adventure puzzle platformer, because I suppose you could call the things you do in this game platforming, even though there's not so much of an emphasis on, like... I was about to say there's not an emphasis on jumping, but I'm doing a whole lot of jumping right now. But, you know, exploration as well, although this game is still pretty linear. There are usually... You know, there's always little nooks and crannies and hidden things that you can dick about with, but for the most part, there's one way to do everything, and pretty much just go forward through all the levels, one little puzzly room at a time. Sometimes the rooms are more puzzle-oriented, and by puzzle I mean, I don't know, none of them are super complicated. Don't know why Lara decided to hop off. I was not pressing the A button. A as in WASD, because yes, I'm playing this on a keyboard with a mouse. I thought that this would have more of, like... I thought that the combat would be more suited for keyboard and mouse. So I started playing this game with keyboard and mouse, and now I'm just used to it. So it may be a dumb way to play this game, but it's the way I play this game. And I feel like if I started doing it with my controller now, I would be confused. Anyway, here are the generic enemies of this game, which are dogs, or wolves. I, never felt that great about how many wolves you shoot in this game. Apparently they underwent a redesign to make them look more vicious so that the player would not have a problem murdering them. But I still a little bit do. But not enough to not do it, because I need to do it to beat the fucking game. So what are you gonna do, fake dogs? Same with the bears. I don't want to shoot bears. And I'm more inclined to shoot the weird demon monsters that are in this game later. Spoilers. And here are the shooty, stabby guys, the booby traps, which are not very hard to dodge, but I still managed to fuck up a lot. And that's pretty much just this game in general. I'm not great at this game. I haven't beaten it. I'm on like the second to last level on my main file. And just the level I'm on is annoying. I wanted to finish it before I started the LP just on principle, but haven't been in the mood to play this game because I've been playing other games, which I'll talk about in a second. I already know that I want to do it, and I'm gonna, I'm gonna do this and beat the game, and I might, before I get to that point. It's pretty late in the game. It's going to be a few weeks before I get there in the LP. So I'm not that worried about it. Unless, of course, we have I may want to play ahead before I get there in the LP, just so we don't have a GTA 4-like scenario where you get to the very last mission of the game and then some stupid-ass thing about the PC version makes it unbeatable, unless you do some weird frame-skipping bullshit like I had to do with that game. That is honestly the main reason why I try to, like, pre-play every game I LP up to the end if I can, because it's obviously not usually a huge deal with ROMs, but ever since I had that problem with GTA 4 when I first LP'd it years ago, I am, like, paranoid about that happening again, and then me getting to the end of the LP and then just not being able to do anything about it. So yeah, don't want to be burned like that again, so I try to be precautious. I think that can explain most of my neuroses, especially when it comes to games and computers. Most of the things that I do that are, like, not dumb, but, like, probably not entirely necessary every time, are mostly things that have happened before, like precautions for things that have happened before that I just don't want to deal with again. And they're probably unlikely, but I have, as evidenced by this situation on my computer, I have the worst luck when it comes to electronics. And I don't know if this is just a keyboard issue or what, but this corner, yeah, I'm holding A while I'm doing this, and she just does not keep shimmying. So you have to do this weird thing where, yeah, you, like, jump up and are holding A and you shift over just a little bit. There's just, like, this pixel of the corner jutting out that doesn't let you go. I don't know. Maybe it's something wrong with my game. I also hope that this looks okay. I mean, I have this on pretty standard, like, settings for my monitor and everything. But this is pretty much the Tomb Raider, the way that this goes. It's, ledges, shimmying, hopping, swinging, occasionally shooting. I have no strategy for the shooting element. I pretty much just shoot at them until they're dead, and I do the flips. And here's the artifact that looks like a shark tooth. And, yeah, don't just fall down and break your legs. It's not a great idea. Whoever did the voice acting for Lara Croft in this game, had to do some pretty sickening yells and grunts for the various ways that she gets murdered, which I know was also like a subject of an interview with Camilla Luddington when she was talking about doing the voice for the 2013 Tomb Raider game, which I've played. That's the only other Tomb Raider game I played before this one. I didn't get very far in it, but I owned it for the Xbox. And this series is one of several game franchises that I'm hoping to make my way through. Not, with any particular timetable in mind, just in general, I want to play through most, if not all, of the games at some point, just because they seem like something that if I really took the time to play through them, that I would enjoy them. And it's like this one, Metroid, Castlevania, Hitman, I don't know, Jak and Daxter, maybe. I owned the first game. I played the first level and then just kind of fell off of it. That's my experience with most video games, honestly, playing the first, almost burping and almost throwing up in my mouth. My thing with a lot of games is playing the first hour or two and then abandoning it or forgetting about it for whatever reason, because I'm a true gamer. But yeah, so there was a big Tomb Raider sale during the Steam Summer Sale, and I bought all of the 2000s Tomb Raider games, which is this, Legend, and Underworld. I've played a little bit of Legend. I did this one first because I thought that this was the first one to come out, because I would like to play, and if I like all three of them, and I mean most of them are pretty similar to this one, so it's a safe bet because I like this game. I'd like to LP all three of those as well, and maybe some other Tomb Raider games in the future at some point, but this is not the first one. The first one of the series in the 2000s was Tomb Raider Legend, which is shorter and a little easier than this one. And yeah, here I am doing an absolutely amazing job fighting this bear. Yeah, and also you're gonna see a bunch of edits in a moment. Get ready for a lot of that, as is pretty normal with me at this point. This is a post-commentary LP. I don't think anybody is surprised by that. But with this game in particular, it is a pretty useful way of going about it, because there is, backtracking in this game. There is, as you can see here, backtracking. And just good old-fashioned fuck-ups that, and because Lara doesn't move all that quickly and whatnot, and, especially later on, we're going to be getting into some pretty huge cavernous areas, and I do try my best to find the secrets, but I don't know where all of them are, and I'm not gonna, waste a bunch of time getting all of them. Like this one, this is just a Medipack, which I would really like, but Lara decided to do that instead of grab onto the ledge. And that little snippet you saw there was the product of about 3 minutes of trying to swing that rope in the right direction, so I don't know. I guess if I really wanted to, I could come back for that, but it's a Medipack. I don't think it goes toward your percentage completion, and even if it does, I'm not going for 100%. I'm just trying to play through the game, just show what the game is like, and hopefully you enjoy it, and hopefully you enjoy watching me get fucking speared to death because I'm an impatient idiot. But yeah, like I said, I had to use a guide pretty heavily for this game, and I sometimes feel bad about how often I have to use guides for games. I usually try to, I don't try to just, have the guide open right when I start and just, okay, now what do I do? Tell me, website, Eurogamer or IGN or whatever. I try to, exhaust all of my own ideas first, but, I'm not gonna... I think the reason that I don't really feel that bad about it, I know I just said I feel bad about it, but what I mean by that is just, like, I don't know. Sometimes I feel like that, I'm like, does this cheapen it, or whatever the fuck? And the thing is, first of all, nobody cares, and it literally does not matter. But secondly, I'm zen about it because, like, I would rather, like, try to figure it out for a little bit, and if I can't, just look it up in a guide and do it so I can move on and continue enjoying the game, than just, like, waste whatever little time I have set aside for playing through the game, wondering what I'm supposed to be doing and wandering around and trying things for hours, and dying and being angry and not doing anything fun. Especially if the thing that I'm trying to do is something optional, like one of the hidden things. And yeah, I love how when you get hit by the animals, they just, like, go inside of you while you take 10 minutes to get up, and you can just get your ass kicked even more. I really suck dick at the combat in this game. I've never been much of a fighter in these games here. I mostly like the climby, jumpy parts of these games. And yeah, here is the much more simple second door thing that you have to do that's up here, and I should have just done it before, but I didn't notice it. But yeah, the other thing I like about this, and get ready to see a whole lot of this in this game, just a lot of big doors opening. And I don't mean that as a knock. It's a fun part of this game, and I was just about to comment on the sound design of this game. I love playing this game with headphones on because of all the good crackly, crunchy sounds, crispy sounds that are in it. All of the, especially when we get into, like, the Egypt levels, but in general, because obviously you're in a bunch of ancient tombs and shit. All of the, you know, like, you hear, like, debris crumbling and, like, rocks crumbling and stuff when you're doing things. And yeah, this is the rigmarole you go through every time you finish a chapter. I believe there's 12 or 13 chapters, and we just finished the first one. Kind of awkward edit there. I just wanted to make sure that my recording was working, so I alt-tabbed out to look at OBS, and I forgot that this game is stupid, and clicking out of the game and then back in just makes it freeze, and I have to crash the game and reload it, so... But luckily I just saved. And yeah, here's a thing that I don't think is in Legend, but I haven't played very far in it, so I don't know if they, like, introduce it later or something, but I guess they tried to, like, jazz up the combat a little bit in this game. But yeah, they have this thing called adrenaline shots, which you don't really need to do to kill the normal enemies, but there are a couple of boss fights later on. The first boss fight, as a matter of fact, which really tripped me up the first time I played through this, that requires you to do that a number of times, where it's like a slow-mo, cool action shot thing. And you, the way you do it is you have to hit shift and a direction at the exact same time, and it's a little picky about it. And then, yeah, you wait for it to line up, but, you know, in the heat of the moment, you don't always know when they're gonna trigger one. And, you know, I just be clicking, so sometimes I fuck it up, so we'll see. We'll see if this game will go the way of other LPs, where I start out thinking that I'm pretty shitty at it, and by the end, I'm still shitty at it, but I feel like I've improved. Like, I feel like that was the case with Spyro. Like, at the beginning, I think you could see my roughness a little bit, but as I got on, got further into the game, I think you could see me getting more comfortable with the controls and everything. And this bear is just kicking my fucking ass. And yeah, sorry I'm not saying much about the actual levels here. This is a pretty generic, you know, opening area. We're in Peru. I guess also now would be a great time to mention that I do not know what is going on in the plot of this game at all. I've been playing it. I've gotten pretty far in it. I watch all the cutscenes. I speak English, but I don't really get it. I don't know what the point of anything is, really. Nothing about any of the stuff that you, like, tomb raid. I don't know. I'm also not, like, clued in much to the series continuity, so I don't know if there's something I'm missing there, or what. I do know that this is a remake of the first game, so I imagine it bears a lot of similarities to the plot in that game, but I haven't played that game, so I don't know how much is similar, how much is different, or what, or if it's just a reskin, otherwise it's the same general idea. But I don't really care. And I'll have time to do it. I can do some research, aka a cursory reading of the Wikipedia page, and find out. Not just the plot, but, you know, maybe some information about the places and things that we discover on our epic Lara Croft journey. Because there is one of the things that drew me to this series to play through. Not that I really expected the games themselves to, like, comment on it or, like, make heavy use of it, although parts of me wish that they did. But one of the things that drew me to this, just in terms of setting and aesthetic, is I like the idea of, ancient civilizations and exploring tombs and caves and old ruins and stuff as a backdrop for a game, with an emphasis on sort of platforming, action-adventure type of stuff. It's the reason that I was interested in the game, and probably the reason why I like it, is just those things seemed like they would cater well to several sensibilities of mine. Because, I don't know, ancient civilizations are dope, and I'm not going to get into it right now, but I'm sure, maybe in one of the less interesting sections of the game, I can go on a nice little ramble about, that kind of stuff. So, anyway, now we have another big door to open. They really love big doors in these old ancient tombs. Is this how they, opened the door back then? I guess I don't know the whole backstory of this, of what this place is supposed to be, but, so, maybe it wasn't really meant to be heavily used in its time, by its contemporaries, but, I feel like if it was, it probably was pretty inconvenient to have to do all of this swanging shit and going up hidden corridors just to open the door. What if you went in there and then you got out and the door closed behind you and then you left something in there? You're like, ah, shit, I forgot my stone tablets, or whatever people in ancient times would leave in places. You lose some change, but it's like Mr. Krabs' old dime, his first dime from SpongeBob. That's a foot tall and thick. Yeah, I don't know. Anyway, I mentioned that I've been playing some other games, and I mentioned in the last video, and by which I mean the one where I played pinball and the Zack and Cody game and shit. I got a Switch, been enjoying that a lot. I finished the main story in Mario Odyssey, and now I hope to get all of the other moons. There's a fuckload of moons in that game. There's a lot of shit to collect, and I love it. We're getting toward the end of the video, so I may have to save some more of my Mario and more general Switch musings for later, but suffice it to say, my main thought coming out of it right now is that I think Mario Odyssey is probably one of the best platformers I've ever played. It's It's really, really good. And I can't make my brain work fast enough to put into words why I think that right now, so I'm just gonna leave it for next time. Anyway, we're opening up a big door here, and we're gonna find out what's in it in the next video. So I'll see you then for that.